Yeah, I mean, the question being loaded or not does not.
But the problem is that it's not a loaded question. That's what you have to say because you have no response.
Look, Chocolate, the question isn't whether or not the question of an open container being a container or not. The question of whether or not this is a loaded question is the question that we will be talking about here. That's what Headmaster has made clear. That's the question. Whether or not it's loaded. Not whether or not an open container's a container.
Is an open container a container? You say I don't answer loaded questions.
Correct.
I just want to.
Yeah, that's not a loaded question. Number one, it's not a loaded question. Number two, all the new people listening out there, this is what it descends to with your heliocentric spinning ball space monkeys.
No. That's not my position at all.
Conversation. He was asked a simple question. Is an open container a container? It's just a simple question. It's an easy question, but he wants to talk about how creepy things are.
It's just hilarious that he said, show me a citation that you can have gas pressure without container or something. You won't find it. Next statement. Gas pressure requires a container. Talk about pressurized gas. Bro,
Didn't he show up with a couple of containers demonstrating that
I have a
gas pressure
screenshot of him saying, I have a screenshot of him typing in the chat one day, I need a citation that an open pipe is a container.
Oh, I've got a screenshot of him saying that it's an open container.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, you can't make this up.
Yeah. So I've sat in a chat watching Blue Marble chat and waited for him to literally say, well, a pipe's an open container. Like, so a container then. Hello.
Yeah, his demonstration requires at least 2 containers.
To prove no container.
The problem is, we say, how can you have gas pressure without a container? They hear, how can you have gas pressure with an open container? No. Without a container. They hear what they want to hear.
Okay, so why can't you have gas pressure without a container?
Because it would have nothing to press on.
Here we go.
Okay. And what happens when you open a container?
The gas fills the space.
Oh, okay. So what does it show when you show you can have gas pressure with an open container?
That gas will follow the laws of entropy and fill the availability of volume.
Yeah, but if you can establish that you can make a gas pressure with an open container, what does this show?
That you can temporarily achieve gas pressure in an open container, and that with time entropy laws still apply.
What does it show?
Why was it that response got you talking through me? Why was it that response got you talking through me? Why was it that response? Why was it that response got you talking through me? What was it about that one?
You put words in my mouth, and that's why I repeated my question, because you were not answering my question. You were tagging on my question and answering that.
Okay, go on. Ask your question again that apparently I rephrased.
What does it show if you can establish that you can make gas pressure in an open container?
That you can't have gas pressure without a container.
Oh.
Is an open container a container?
Sorry, did that answer phase you in some way? You just went, oh. You see, the demonstration was supposed to be demonstrating gas pressure without a container. And what it proves is that you need a container.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So hold on. Sorry, yes. You don't need to talk. Thank you. Yes. Sorry, why are you still talking? Why are you fundy muting me?
Why are you still?
When you agreed with me?
Yes. What's your deal? What's your problem, huh?
Yeah. You need to fundy mute me. So Blue Marble's wrong then. When he turned up with 2 containers to demonstrate gas pressure without a container, and you ask, what does it demonstrate when you've got gas pressure in an open container? It demonstrates that Blue Marble's a complete fuckwit. Because he needed containment for his gas pressure, now didn't he? He said it was demonstrating gas pressure without a container, in spite of him having gas pressure inside a container. So it shows how stupid he is.
I'd really like to hear what this guy thinks.
Can I ask him one thing? Master, is an open container a container?
That's not a hard question.
Master, I know you heard me. Is an open container a container?
Blue Marble says no, even though it's in the title, because he's stupid. But he's not going to answer because whatever his name is, has figured out that this will only end up in Blue Marble looking like a complete idiot. Go ahead. Don't be shy. We're waiting on a response. You asked me a question, now you seem to have gone completely silent. What's going on? Okay, well then let's sum up, and undoubtedly he'll regain control of his vocal cords as soon as I summarise the position, which is that we ask how you can have gas pressure without a container, and a complete idiot, known as Blue Marble Science, turned up with 2 containers.
I still want to know what it proves that you can have a temporary gas pressure in an open container. The fact you can create a pressure differential temporarily with containment, not full, but partial, so an open container. What does that prove? If I'm happy to accept that. So what does that prove?
Okay, go ahead, Neil. I give up on him.
What a funny coincidence at that moment. All of communications stops.
Of course.
It's not a coincidence.
Oh, do you want to get a bit closer to your mic there? So, Blue Marble said that he demonstrated gas pressure without a container, but he had 2 containers. Don't tell the children. You asked me this question.
Creepy. Do you know that?
Do I know what?
That you guys are creepy right now?
Sorry, that's an ad hominem attack. So I point out that Blue Marble Science is a complete numpty dipshit and has asserted that you can have gas pressure without a container. Here's my demonstration. It's got 2 containers. And your answer to that is total silence for about 2 straight minutes and then telling me that I'm creepy.
Creepy.
Yeah, creepy. So that's your response. That's an ad hominem fallacy.
Right now, like your panel that you have.
Hey, Master
Right now,
Pound. I asked you a question
creepy.
before. You didn't respond. Is an open container a container?
Don't seem to be getting an answer there. Do you want to tell us we're creepy again? Got total silence. Followed by an ad hominem, maybe?
No.
Before
Before that, you were being creepy. Right now, you're not. Right now, you're talking normally. See the difference?
So
That's what I'm talking about.
You've been asked if an open container is a container?
Yeah, I don't answer loaded questions.
Get lost.
It's not a loaded question, you numpty dip.
So let me get this straight. You're going to ask me about what it proves when you've got an open container with gas in it. And I say it proves you need containment. And then when I say that proves that Blue Marble Science, who's asserted that that's a demonstration of gas pressure without a container, because he thinks an open container is not a container, making him stupid at a fundamental level. But you don't answer questions we put to you. We are expected to answer only questions you put to us. All right. That seems very unreasonable. Shame. You know, obviously, if you weren't an anti-flat earth dick, then we might get a decent discussion here, but you're just an anti-flat earth dick who wants to tell us we're creepy when we point out how stupid your religion is. Of a sky vacuum, that would be gas pressure without a container.
Would much prefer if you weren't creepy.
Oh, really? Well, yet you hang around here, so you like to hang around with creepy people?
On your panel there.
Do you want to answer my question? Do you like hanging around with creepy people? You're claiming we're creepy. You've come here by choice and are hanging around with us.
I would.
So by definition, you like hanging around by people you describe as creepy, and you choose to hang around with people you describe as creepy.
Definitely makes him creepy.
That makes you creepy as fuck. So you see people as being creepy and you choose to hang around with those creepy people? Weirdo.
Okay, so.
Yeah, not okay. You're just a dick. You're using an ad hominem fallacy rather than attacking how Blue Marble's wrong.
No, but let's just expand on this, right? Because he only thinks we're creepy and therefore wants to hang about with us. It doesn't necessarily make us creepy, but he definitely thinks himself is creepy because he wants to hang around with creepy people he thinks are creepy. You're creepy.
To hang around with you. Second, I didn't say that you were creepy people. I was saying that you did behave in a creepy way at that moment.
I see. So you like to hang around with people who you perceive as behaving in a creepy way. And when you perceive them as hanging around in a creepy way, you still hang around with them. And you still talk to them. And you're still generally associated with them, even though you perceive their behaviour to be creepy at that time. I see. That makes you weird.
Yeah, you're sick. You want sick.
I am. And then when one of those creepy people ask you, is an open container a container? You say, I don't answer loaded questions.
Correct. I just want to...
yeah, that's not a loaded
serious.
This man just said, yes, I am. So...
Yeah, it's not a loaded question. Number one, it's not a loaded question. Number two, all the new people listening out there, this is what it descends to with your heliocentric spinning ball space monkeys.
No. That's not my position at all.
He was asked a simple question. Is an open container a container? It's just a simple question. It's an easy question, but he wants to talk about how creepy things are. So this is what it descends to, because we're dealing with numpty dipshits of megalithic proportions. This is what we got. This is where we're at.
Yeah,
all
correct.
People out here. That's the team you're on.
Exactly. And it won't matter if I repeat Chocolate's question to him or Chocolate repeats it to him in excess of 80 times. He'll focus on how creepy he perceives us to be and talk through us, making the example clear, with context. Why are we asking him whether an open container is a container? Because it's very specifically declared not to be a container by Blue Marble Science, who has taken 2 containers and titled the video Gas Pressure Without a Container. That's why it's being asked. Coincidentally, you were asking me about an open container now, weren't you? So this came up because you asked me about it, and then when I ask you about it, it descends into total chaos.
Well, we became creepy because he was not answering a question. Funny, if you just answer the question.
Correct.
Then we don't have to get creepy.
The thing is, Neil,
if
words don't have meanings, right, then it's perfectly okay to label a open container as not a container. But they do.
No, but you can make deductions from what would happen without a container from an open container with the reason.
Sorry, because an open container is like no container, is it? So basically, yes, you're saying an open container is like no container. So an open container is no container.
No.
No, that's right, it's not. Blue Marble Science says it is, though.
No.
Yes, he does. He's a complete tard, and he's saying title of video, gas pressure without a container, and then he's presenting 2 containers, so yes.
Mm-hmm.
So with regards to Blue Marble's thing in your statement just there, you just said, yeah, we can kind of figure out what would happen without a container with the open container. Wouldn't it be simpler, especially in Blue Marble's case, to just let the gas go out of the first container and not have the open container, the pipe, to see what happens? It will just disperse. Yeah? It's not hard, mate. You don't need to have an open container to guess what will happen without a container, do you? It's a really odd statement.
Sure.
But it still doesn't answer the question whether or not an open container is a container, does it?
Well, where do you get the gas pressure from in the first place anyway?
You see how that's a tactic, right, Headmaster? For you to say that that's a loaded question. That's a very simple question. I can ask a 5-year-old that.
It's not. Yeah, I mean, the question being loaded or not does not.
But the problem is that it's not a loaded question. That's what you have to say because you have no response.
Look, Chocolate, the question isn't whether or not the question of an open container being a container or not. The question of whether or not this is a loaded question is the question that we will be talking about here. That's what Headmaster has made clear. That's the question. Whether or not it's loaded, not whether or not an open container's a container.
No, I don't answer loaded questions.
What, the same question you asked me? Your question posed to me was about exactly that, though, wasn't it? So it was loaded when you asked me.
Uh-oh.
Roll, Rudge.
What premise did I take that you were not agreeing with in my question?
Sorry, do you want to mutter that a bit quieter? What premise did I not agree with when you asked me a question?
Yeah.
That a container...
This is infinite regression.
that a container isn't a container.
No.
No. Yeah, I'd agree with you. Yeah, that's right. A container's a container. So when somebody puts on...
premise of what I was
Sorry, do you want to talk through this? Talk through this, maybe? Maybe talk through this. So when somebody labels their video gas pressure without a container, and they have an open container, that would be them being wrong. Do you understand?
Oh, God.
Mutter for me.
Sure, buddy. Sure.
Sure? Hey, Blue! This guy's on your side, and he knows you're wrong.
Sure.
Sure, yeah. 2 containers isn't gas pressure without a container. Sure. Yeah, Blue Marble's wrong, then. By your own side, Blue. They're all telling you how wrong you are, Blue. Hello?
What's my side again, Nathan?
Sorry?
What am I?
What? Blue's wrong. Gas pressure without a container is not demonstrated by way of open container.
Talking about Nathan.
Nathan, could I just have a second? Because we were talking earlier about what an anti-flat earther is, and John's already chipped in once. And for the listeners, listen to this. This is where an anti-flat earther has to go. He's either got to do an infinite regression about what the nature of the question and the motivation of the question, what you were thinking.
Can you please stop with
what he's doing now, which is just obfuscating to a pathetic level so that he doesn't have to admit that his buddy anti-flat earther mate has made a fool of himself, and that he can't even agree with the statements that he makes in the video. It's beyond ridiculous. He's certainly not honest, and it certainly hopefully demonstrates this is not a ball earther's position.
What I thought.
This is somebody whose existence is derived because we flat earthers are here. He only exists to try and oppose us. Not oppose us with truth, but with nonsense.
That's why flat earth is in his name. Anti-flat earther.
What the fuck? I'm not here to oppose you. I was coming on asking 2 simple questions, and the reasoning behind those questions got completely derailed, and I got asked loaded questions instead that were premising something that was.
He's back to his loaded questions.
We're talking about containers, weren't we? Weren't we talking about containers? Didn't you interject purposely while we were talking about containers?
Ignoring the reasoning that I was putting forth with my line of questions. I hate that you
just fucking talk to people, bro.
No, that's all right.
Bud Soapus Muppet.
Shut up. What was the reasoning?
In response, I get told I'm putting forth ad hom fallacies when I'm pointing out that you're behaving in a very creepy way by you're whispering and you're whistling and stuff.
Shut up.
Right? And then
shut up.
That was me. I was simulating the wind in an open desert, like.
Yeah, because there was total silence. I know you wanted to claim we were creepy, but we asked you a question, and you totally ignored it. Is an open container a container? I mean, you asked me what the implications of gas being in an open container were, and I said that it needed containment. So I've just summarised your position that you asked me about, and I answered it. But what, that's me obfuscating your question, or avoiding it, or repositioning it? No, I just answered it.
What is creepy is we all heard Arwen do tumbleweeds. Yet Ed interpreted that as Arwen subtly blowing his hair in a creepy way. You're creepy, Ed.
Yeah, Ed.
That's not Ed. That's not Ed.
Oh, wait.
That's another clown.
Whoever it is, they're creepy, man. I think
that's the funny part, right? Because at that particular part, he went very silent and then came back with, I don't answer loaded questions. So I feel like he took that time to come up with that response. Because the response to that question is devastating to his entire reasoning for coming in here in the first place. Isn't that right, Ed Master?
Yeah, he jumped. This is the second time he did this.
Clown.
Yeah, we heard the same giggling during his pathetic attempt to obfuscate away from the question he was asked, with lots of silences claiming we were creepy. and then saying that his question was avoided, which it wasn't. But John summarised it beautifully. I'm glad he interjected at that point to say, listen, audience, that's an anti-flat earther. Yeah? Can he just admit that the word containers in open container? No, of course he can't. Well, why not? Well, because he's got a gas pressure without a container belief. Sky vacuum, that'll be us with pressure, not filling the space. So it's fundamental to his religious belief. So he'll sit all day telling us that we're obfuscating his question. And it's not about whether or not an open container's a container or not. It's about whether or not that's a loaded question. So let's debate whether or not asking about whether an open container is a container is a loaded question or not. Let's debate that for 10 minutes. Yeah? Anti-flat earther.